everyone, welcome to the Ranting Shop. It's me, Melissa, and today we're going to be talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville Season 2, Episode 5, I believe. Okay, so today we left off of the last episode where we saw that Maurice left his wife, Kimmy, to deal with his ex-wife and her husband as it pertained to Monster. And Monster is her stepchild. It's Maurice's child in his previous marriage. So it was an awkward start because Miss Kaiwa came extremely late, and they already have a history that is a little bit tainted. So the initial conversation was a little bit awkward, a little bit uncomfortable. But when they got into the subject of who they came there to discuss, which is Monster, everything kind of balanced itself out and worked out for the best. And they talked about the vaping incident, and she made it very clear to Kaiwa that I wasn't privy to the information when I was told about it. So I think she did that because she wants Kaiwa to know, as a step-parent, it's important for me to be a part of things to do with Maurice, I think is his name, Monster, as he evolves into a young man. And I think one thing I do like about Kimmy is that she's very assertive. She's not disrespectful at all until you become disrespectful with her. But for the most part, she's very level-headed, she's very rational, and she's very calm. And I love that about Kimmy, and I hope to be like that when I get older. So they discuss Monster, and Kaiwa knew about the vaping thing, and their whole conclusion was essentially that they need to show a united front as it pertains to him, so that he doesn't feel as if he's picking sides. And because children that have been with parents that have divorced, they have this thing about having to pick a side. And so I feel like that is extremely important to him to know that these people are both on his side. Nobody is trying to get him against the other party. Like, everybody's doing this for you, everybody's doing this for your well-being. Okay, and I'm happy that Kaiwa came to that conclusion. And also Kaiwa's husband is excited to build a relationship with Monster. And as Kimmy said, that's the thing with them being the outside parent, the step parent. It's like you have to try and figure out time to bond with the child, and they both kind of connect on that front. So anyways, it was a wonderful meeting, but I hope he never does that to Kimmy again. That was extremely rude. According to Kimmy, it's what Maurice always does, but that is extremely rude, and I hope he does better moving forward. I mean, treat your wife better than that. Kimmy is a gem. Okay, but anyways, let's move on to Tisha and Destiny. So Tisha and Destiny are out there looking for cars, one for her company and another for Hot Girl Summer, and they were discussing Tisha's Houston trip, and Tisha talks again about the meeting the awkward meeting that she had with Kyra, and the fact that Kyra apparently was trying to get her man, and it wasn't about finding a husband, it was about selling this product, whatever. Tisha is a little bit delusional because nobody wants your man. Why are we talking about this again? And then this is gonna spill over to even the next episode. Why are we still talking about Kyra? Kyra didn't and never wanted your man. Yes, she went up to him to congratulate him for something. Why is it that you're threatened by her? Why aren't you discussing things with your husband? Why isn't your husband making you feel comfortable within your marriage? That's the real question. Because a woman who's comfortable and secure in her union is not gonna blame an outside party for her husband's wandering eyes. And she's also not gonna make something small a big deal. So that's clearly a conversation that you need to have with Marsau and ensure that he understands how you feel. That has nothing to do with Kyra. So I'd appreciate for Letitia to stop blaming and putting things on Kyra. Kyra has nothing to do with problems that you've been having within your own marriage. Okay? So she tells Destiny about that situation, Melody calls them in the middle of their discussion, and she wanted to invite all of them to some Taco Tuesday brunch event that she is having at her house. And of course, they ask her if Tiffany is coming, and she says yes, Tiffany is coming. Destiny does not quite like Tiffany. I don't think anybody watching Love and Marriage Huntsville really likes Tiffany that much, because we feel like Tiffany tried way too hard to create this big splash, this big impact on the first episode, and the way she went about doing that was to basically put people's business out in Front Street. And I don't know where people do that at. I don't know where that is ever considered to be courteous and kind, but that was her approach. I think Destiny feels as if Melody has a hand to play in what Tiffany said. Perhaps the assumption is that Melody knew what Tiffany was gonna talk about, and I mean, we will get that impression, because at the end of the day, after Tiffany did all that she did, there goes Melody kind of perpetuating the drama on by asking whether LeBerick was a cheater or not. And yes, she came out since and clarified that her intention was never to stir up more drama. Her intention was simply that, well, if he's not a cheater, then what Tiffany is saying is not important. But if he is a cheater, then you should be happy that you're done with him. Either way, anybody with sense could realize how that caused drama. And for you to act as if, oh, I'm innocent, I don't know, I didn't do anything that was a big deal, I just did this, for somebody to kind of play oblivious, I just feel like it's a little bit fishy. I mean, you know what you were doing. Let's not play games. Let's not do that. Okay, you could explain it away, but the point that you saw that Destiny was uncomfortable, and you proceeded still to poke at the situation, knowing that it was something that was sensitive for her. How could you not see that, Melody? And I understand people defend her because everybody likes Melody and stuff like that, but you guys have to understand that Melody is kind of similar to her ex-husband in certain regards. So she's not this big saint that I know we'd like her to be. She's not that. But anyways, I didn't buy that explanation that she posted on social media, because I didn't feel like it was legit. Then Destiny proceeds to explain to Tisha about what happened during the birthday event, because of course we know Tisha wasn't there. Tisha was in Houston being insecure. But so she broke it down and said that, okay, Tiffany came there, decided to drop some information about things that had nothing to do with her. And so of course Tisha is gonna come into the situation to the Taco Tuesday with the mindset of, this girl likes trouble and I don't know if I like her. So anyways, we're gonna then go into the situation with Tisha and Marsau. So Tisha decided to bring Marsau into a blind therapy session, something that he wasn't made aware of prior, and he felt blindsided, and he felt that the therapy session was unnecessary. The therapist, of course, is the same therapist that was the counsel, so to speak, for Marsau. That didn't go very well. His situation with Melody did not improve. In fact, it became worse, and eventually they divorced. So anyways, this man is trying to figure out why he's here. The therapist is telling him, okay, you never even asked your wife why she brought you here. You never even showed any type of concern, interest, anything pertaining to why she brought you there. That's interesting. Anyways, come to find out, she didn't tell him at all, so he had no idea. But for you not to even ask, it just shows a lot of disinterest on Marsau's part. So Tisha is saying she brought him there because she feels like she's stressed mentally, physically. She feels like she has to do a whole bunch of things with the children, with her job, and she just feels like she gets no support. But if we go back to the very first couple episodes, you will come to the realization that Marsau wanted a stay-at-home wife. A stay-at-home wife, submissive wife, domestic wife. That's the type of wife he wanted. And the moment that Tisha felt as if she wanted to do more with her life, career-wise, education-wise, she got a little bit of pushback from Marsau, because Marsau thought that the agreement was for her to be at home. But then as the marriage went along, she realizes that I'm stretching myself so thin in different aspects, but I'm not doing what's good for me. I'm not doing what makes me happy. So that is the point of contention that they've had in their marriage for a long time. For some reason, Marsau is unable to understand or come to terms with the idea that he needs to be more present in the household. There needs to be balance. So just like Maurice, there is a lack of balance when it comes to their home and work life. And Marsau's thing is, in order for me to supplement or to be able to provide the monetary funds for Tisha's out of control spending, I have to be out of the house working. But my thing about it is, he always tries to blame Tisha for everything. You as a man know that you have a responsibility not only to be a provider, but to be a husband, to be an emotional support. And the fact that you don't see it necessary for you to be there in the emotions, in regards to being her emotional support, is very baffling and troubling. You know, I feel like Marsau feels as if his sole role is to just be the provider. But that's that old school way of thinking, especially in the Caribbean, where men felt like their only role is to be a provider. And you'd find that a lot of children will tell you that they don't even know who their parent is. They don't even know who their father is. They never sat down and had a conversation with him. They don't know what his personality is like. And you'd find that it is very unfortunate, because you will see that a lot of children are becoming unattached, or not even unattached, because they were never even attached. You find that there's a lot of detached children because they just never had a relationship with their parent. And when the parent dies, it's like there's no emotion because there was never a relationship. And that is very unfortunate. And I've spoken about this before. When it comes to Marsau and his relationship with his wife and particularly his children, these children are not gonna have that emotional bond with him because he's not making an effort to be there with them emotionally. His only thing is providing, but beyond that, I just don't feel as if he wants to apply himself. These children are gonna be so detached from him that when he dies, they're not gonna feel that emotional connection to him. They're not gonna cry because they're gonna be like, I know he's my dad, but I don't know him. And I just really wish that Marsau changes when it pertains to being there emotionally for your wife and for your children. It's not only about finance, but he just is unable to understand that. So when Letitia explained why she even went to the therapy session and dragged him along, the only thing he heard from her was, I don't know how to deal with the stress of everyday life. That's what he interpreted from what she was saying, and that's not what she was essentially saying. She was just saying that she needs him more emotionally. She needs him as her husband. She needs him to be there as her support. That's what she needs. She doesn't only need money. So Marsau feels like when Tisha says that she does everything by herself, he kind of feels offended by it because he feels like he plays his part. He does what he's supposed to do, and what he's supposed to do is to work and bring money into the household. That's where his role begins and ends. And she feels like he could do a bit more. I mean, he's making it seem like Tisha is spending all of his money, when Tisha explains that it's not that she's spending the money on herself. She also has the children that she has to spend money on. Whereas when Marsau spends money, he only spends money on himself. So what I don't like about Marsau is he continues to blame his wife for why he is absent emotionally in the relationship. Take accountability for your lack of and do what you need to do. He does this gaslighting thing where he makes it seem as if everything is somebody else's fault. Everything is Tisha's fault when you contribute to the lack thereof in your relationship as well. So what he did was he said, oh, you want some quality time? Then he goes to Siri. Oh, Siri, can you schedule some time with my wife on Thursday at 8 p.m.? And the therapist rightly dug in his AWS and told him, no, like if you feel the need to have to message Siri and leave this appointment message in your phone to be able to spend quality time with your wife, you don't want to do it. You're simply doing it because the therapist said okay, maybe you could do that, or maybe Tisha suggested it, but it's not because you want to do it. The fact that you had to schedule it into your schedule shows that that time slot is just your appointment with your wife. And he rightfully said, you, Tisha, should not have to feel like your husband is scheduling an appointment with you. You need to feel like he genuinely wants that time with you. That man is a piece of work. I keep saying how Tisha deals with this man is unbelievable. He manipulates things to make it Tisha's fault. He doesn't want Tisha to complain because he feels like you should just be a stay-at-home mom. And the fact that you want more, all that is on you. Don't expect me to have to cut you some slack because you wanted your life to be more complicated. That's what it seems like his approach to Tisha is. Since you want your life to be more complicated, you deal with that. I deal with my stress. And he mentioned he doesn't want Tisha to have to deal with stress. He doesn't want to share stress with Tisha. He doesn't want to share any burdens with her or his children. And I understand that, but the fact that she wants to be able to be your partner and kind of share a burden with you and you're not allowing her, it's kind of like, why make life difficult when it could be easy? But I feel like that's just his way of maintaining control in certain aspects of their marriage. So I don't know, I definitely feel like there's something more to it, almost as if he wants to keep her at bay, keep her in a certain segment so that she's not able to see what he's really doing out on these streets. But anyways, let's talk about Tiffany and Louis. So Tiffany and Louis, the new couple. Tiffany is getting ready to go to the Taco Tuesday at Mel's house. She discusses the fact that the women at the brunch were very uneasy because she decided to blurt out some things that were not necessary to be blurted out. And he asked her, was it necessary to say that at that time? And it really, really wasn't. And the way she justifies what she did is that, oh, she's transparent, she's blunt, she's authentic, that's just how she is, either take it or leave it. But at the end of the day, Tiffany, there's ways of doing things, and you being a corporate person, a woman in professional America or corporate America, you should know that there's certain ways and means of saying and doing things. Like, people just don't go in a room with somebody, okay, clearly Tiffany knows everybody on this cast, so she's coming in acting like she doesn't know people. She knows everybody on this cast, everybody knows her. But you saying that you being authentic is just something you want, people have to deal with it, that's not the approach, because you're coming into an environment that you're new in, and that's the impression that you want to lead with, the impression of being the one to spill people's business. Come on, Tiffany, I know you know better than that, and it's very annoying to see that you want to kind of stand 10 toes deep in your wrongness. Like, at the end of the day, take accountability for your actions and apologize. But no, you want to stand 10 toes deep in you being wrong, and people are gonna further not like you because of that. But then I see why, because Carlos King did some type of post on social media stating that Louis and Tiffany were the most standout couple that they ever interviewed for the show, and you know, they won everybody over. I see why, because it's clear that they bring the drama. It's clear that they bring the drama. So Tisha comes earlier and she discusses what Destiny told her about Tiffany and having a problem with Melody, bringing Tiffany, knowing Tiffany is messy, or thinking that Melody has something to do with Tiffany's messiness. And of course, Melody wants to know why Destiny, who she's very close friends with, telling that to Tisha, who she's not that close to, and she's just a little bit offended, I should say, as to why Destiny felt the need to tell Tisha that. So she's saying, well, she has to talk to Tiffany too. She has to talk to Destiny because she feels a certain type of way. And of course, eventually Tiffany shows up, and of course Tisha knows Tiffany from the Chamber of Commerce and stuff like that. And she still feels a way about, you know, what she has heard about Tiffany, because I think she knows Tiffany, but she doesn't really know Tiffany, you know. So there's that. Kimmy shows up, of course, and Kimmy, of course, is feeling a certain type of way, considering how Tiffany just blurted out the thing with Monster something that had nothing to do with Tiffany and so on. And Kimmy rightfully said she's gonna deal with that situation at a later date with Maurice present, because it's Maurice's child at the end of the day. So that made a lot of sense to me. Then of course Destiny comes very late, so she eventually comes into the party area. She eats her food and she just brings up the fact that, you know, she's a little bit annoyed with Melody. She kind of had to say something because Letitia already brought it up to Melody, so Melody's like waiting to hear Destiny's explanation of things. And Destiny touched on the fact that Tiffany came in there wanting to drop tea that has been cold for quite some time. Of course, Tiffany being smart, talking about she doesn't bring tea. Well, you brought 2 cups of tea last time, so don't act like don't act innocent at this particular point in time. Anyways, she's saying that, you know, as far as the other things to do with her annoyance is concerned, she's gonna address Melody one-on-one. She doesn't want it to be a situation where she's addressing Melody with these women in their room. She wants it to be a one-on-one conversation. So next episode we're gonna see that they sit down and talk, and it's gonna be a little bit of a heated conversation. Next episode, Marsau we're gonna see Marsau. Basically, Tisha is saying that she heard that, I don't know if she said she heard from Mel or she heard from Mel told her that somebody told her, whatever, something to do with Marsau being hugged up with another woman in a club. We're gonna hear about that. We're gonna hear about Destiny and Melody airing it out. We're gonna hear about, of course, Miss Wanda inserting herself in people's business, talking about she thinks that Melody should give Martell another chance. First of all, Wanda, don't even get me started on your case. Don't even let me get me started on your case, because last season you were digging in Martell's AWS, and now you're talking about Melody should give Martell another chance. How about you mind your business? How about that? Okay, so we have that going to happen. And yes, it's gonna be drama. It's just gonna get more dramatic as time goes by. Anyways, that was my little review for Love and Marriage Huntsville. We also saw in the previews that Kimmy and Maurice is gonna be confronting, what's her name, Tiffany and her husband, as it pertained to her remarks about a child that is not hers and something that had nothing to do with her. So I cannot wait to see how that conversation plays out. And if there's nothing else to add, I will see you guys next time for another review. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like and subscribe, and stay tuned for other videos from me in the ranting shop. Bye.